Thanks for your company. I'm Bernice Abubaid. Now, officials of the Jospon Group of companies are today expected to appear before the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service. The Jospon Group are assisting in a criminal probe into the waste bins and fumigation contracts revealed in a Joy News expose on some questionable sanitation contracts signed between the local government ministry and the Jospon Group. The Jospon Group were at the CID headquarters with 4 lawyers yesterday and are expected back there to explain their role in the 2 contracts. We'll keep you updated on this in subsequent bulletins. Now, in less than 7 days, over 400,000 students will report at 650 senior high schools expected to be enrolled for the Free Senior High School. The Ministry of Education and its Free Senior High School Secretariat have for the past few weeks been the center of attention as over 100,000 students found difficulty in being placed in a senior high school. Deputy Minister of Education Dr. Yahweh Duchum, however, says majority of the students have been placed since the deadline for self-selection was extended to today. Earlier, these students had to visit internet cafes repeatedly, causing the authorities to change the website for placement. We now take you to the office of the Ministry of Education. Roland Walker was there for Joy News.
Initially, I selected these technical schools, but when we checked on the internet, they've given him these secondary schools. Meanwhile, the secondary school too, he was given this, how call it, home economics. But to me, in fact, it's not good for being a man at least supposed to do.
Okay, so you have a male child who is supposed to be placed but has been given home economics, which he did not choose.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So which schools has he been placed in?
That's Teaching Presby.
Senior high?
Senior high, yeah.
Or senior technical?
No, it's senior high.
Okay. Gone to the school, whether it's possible?
No, I learned there on vacation, so I haven't been there.
So you don't know the courses or the subjects that they do?
Actually, I don't know. So only that is, they've given him this home course. So
home economics.
Economics, exactly. Yeah.
And you want him to be changed?
Either maybe general science or this, sorry, what do you call it? General art, or even if any technical subjects. But meanwhile, you don't do technical, so I just want a technical school. So I just change it.
And result on the buy, young who so. Just say our problems or payare. Me bano you be payare and me can't just someone to boarding. One to day. They buy, no, or ye general art. Afi, baby, I didn't call it was the business. You didn't cook massy. Yes, would drink massa over Africa, Aquasa Crum. To come me by say, me palm which I was so musa, and my me banam conquer higher, and nothing I'm aware.
Now, wouldn't say results and also anything yet because results in the year share any school out you see, any school you see any now one kind of. And in time I'll buy and then a first time I'll buy and I said,
I'm not your school now, walk on. See a coin, one see no monster some just a school now, Corana choose. A general attention work you see in our business and then went to Yambraha, na young fam children no monster some or some I be a crown by your school and crying her. And open a him.
Okay, into school ben up as a call and cry.
Oh no, a St. John's.
St. John's Grammar.
By trying.
Okay.
Can into was a crown 6 St. John's one a pesoko.
Say the Russian apum dancing. Into Hajia Mariama, who also has a concern about the ward, who is a male, feels that has some health issues, and so chose initially schools in Accra, but had been given a school in the Ashanti region, and so has a difficulty with it, and wants that also to be resolved. But has to come to the Ministry of Education, and it's a concern for her. She's hoping that that could be resolved as early as possible, so that the son could go through the necessary formalities and get admitted to a new school. We'll try as much as possible and speak to a lot more. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Please, what's your name and where have you come from to be here?
My name is Stephen Jakwa. I'm from the Eastern region, New Tafo, from New Tafo.
You came from New Tafo to here?
Yes.
What problem did you bring with?
My child was not pleased. He had 25, but he was not pleased. So that is why I've directed to come here and see whether he can get a chance.
We were told that you have to go through a list of schools that have been placed or selected, and then you make a selection. Have you gone through the school list?
Yes, I went there yesterday, and the list that came were only 5, and those 5 are the far place from my area. It's still far place.
Yeah, in the eastern region,
yes.
But far away from where you think is conducive.
Yes, and also there are day schools.
Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education in Kumasi, Cassandra Chumampofo, says the problems will be solved by close of day today. She also assured parents whose wards have been placed in wrong schools her outfit is working to rectify the anomalies.
Those who have smartphones, I always tell them that go through, use your smartphone to access the link, and then take your time once you have it, and then identify the school that you want, so that even if you just can't print from your system, what you can do is that now you know the school, you have an idea, so you go straight to them, and then when they open their schools, then you select. You understand? So that's really what's happening.
This student who has chosen a school, but then they do not run the course she wants, is there anything you can do for her?
That's difficult, but then I know the schools have an internal arrangement so that this particular student, if he or she gets to the school and then talks to the headmaster, probably there would be that kind of internal arrangement. If only it is the course, they would do that for her.
The school itself doesn't run the course at all. She wants science, but it says the school doesn't run science program at all. So she's been given the option of home economics, which she doesn't want.
Well, I'll have to look at it. Yes, I'll look at it. I'll invite him and then look at it and then see how best, whether we'll take the details and then send to the CSSPS Secretariat for corrections to be made. Because if the school, they do not run that particular course at all, of course, what exactly is he going there to do? We have to find a way out for him. And so I'll look at it and then forward his details to the Secretariat. And then
you made mention of some students, male students, choosing female schools. How is that possible? Is this something you found?
Yes, we've had complaints, and then yesterday, for instance, I forwarded some details. I don't know, just like the explanation I gave earlier, they are not given the opportunity, the time to go through the schools with vacancies mounted online. And so hurriedly, they just click, and once you select and submit, that's it. So for them, and then some of the schools, it's a girls' school, but then they do not have nothing shows. Like for example, St. Louis girls, and so that gives you an idea. But if it's St. Louis SHS and it's in a different region, you understand, you wouldn't really know.
So how many of such cases have you had so far?
Well, we've had about 6, and I've sent their details, and we are waiting to hear from the Secretariat that it's been rectified. I took their numbers, and I also added their numbers to the complaints to them, and so that either them or we here can call them and tell them that it's been rectified, and they can go to the others.
Still on Free SHS, former President John Mahama has observed with interest how, quote, conservative parties like the NPP are rolling out policies like Free SHS, which originally belonged to the NDC Social Democratic ideology, end quote. The former president says this only proves how it is impossible to be a leader in Africa without practicing social democracy. The former president was addressing a party function at the Ghana Institute of Social Democracy Friday.
Social democracy is about social safety nets and making sure that everybody is able to live a decent and dignified life, while letting those who are business people who want to do business and make money, do it and make money, create employment. But when that cake has grown, how to distribute it, the market cannot distribute it fairly. And so the state must make sure that those social safety nets are put in place in order that the poor and vulnerable are not left to an undignified life. And so we must let people understand that our party is not against business. Indeed, it's in the time that our party has been in government that businesses have prospered the most. And so these redefinitions must be one of the outcomes that this institute is able to put out. Even so-called conservative and property-owning parties in Africa cannot afford to be the kind of conservative parties that we find elsewhere. Often if you go to the developed countries, when the conservatives come into power, they whittle away at social welfare and they give tax breaks to the rich and wealthy. But in Africa, you can't whittle away at social welfare. Indeed, some of those conservative parties that call themselves conservatives, have moved left of center. And today are involved in social safety nets like national health insurance, like free school, senior high school, and others. Those are all social democratic programs.
Still with the former president, John Dramani Mahama, he's dismissed the perception that social democracy and poverty move hand in hand. The former president noted social democracy does not amount to equalizing poverty. The NDC, he says, is not against business and making wealth, and assured that in the coming months they'll redefine the party's ideology. According to him, the school is not to brainwash people.
There's a wide perception that social democracy means equalizing poverty, or the poorer you look, the more socialist you are. And I remember some of these perceptions were ingrained during the revolutionary times when we wore rubber-tie slippers and things. And so certainly we must redefine to the public mind and let them understand that social democracy does not amount to equalizing poverty. And that's one of the reasons why we need to make an analysis of the trends that are taking place in this country. Our party has contributed the most to the increase in the middle class of this country. In the period that NDC has been in office, we have seen the greatest upward movement of people from lower classes into the middle class. And yet when people get into the middle class, because of the perception that our party is social democratic and is against property owning and seeks to equalize poverty, then those same people that we have created the conditions to be upwardly mobile drift into the property owning classes and therefore identify themselves with a different ideology. And so that misconception must be erased.
Imagine you're advanced in age yet cannot read and write, especially at a time when all those around you, including your children, can exhibit such skill with ease. Would you take an offer to study under such circumstances, knowing the possible stigmatization that could come along with accepting the offer? In the town of Weija in Accra, a 63-year-old woman and other adults are taking lessons with passion and are least perturbed about comments that they are too old to study. Joy News' Joseph Akable has the rest of the story.
How are you?
We are fine, thank you.
I'm also doing well. Now, today we are going to look at addition.
It's a school like any other. Its classroom has a blackboard, desks for students as well as course materials.
Even I tell my son that, one of my daughter that I'm come to learn. And he said that your age that now we are coming. I say yes. When I sit to look after you, when you grow, finish your school. Now you two, I'm coming to collect chop money from you to come to school.
It's never too late. That's the idea motivating 63-year-old Sarah Esiri, a mother of two who wants to be able to express herself in a quaint language. Sarah and her classmates are here each day taking lessons from basic arithmetic to English rhymes.
If you calculate like 3 plus 9, why are you not going to put all the 12?
Why I didn't put all the 12 here?
Yes.
Yes.
Good is better, and my better best.
Very good.
Drum, the message afar. Learning to read and write.
It's a typical classroom situation, except these are adults. While they are at it, some of the children whose school facilities the adults are using are busy playing football on the compound. Their headmaster, Techi Kodam, explains why he decided to allow the use of the school.
And they also need the knowledge. And there's the agency looking at the people, the mothers, the fathers, the brothers and sisters who are out there so ignorant of what is happening. So there was a clear call to listen to them. I gave this facility over a year for free, nothing.
Back in the classroom, Reverend Joseph Yamwa is focused on his students. He tells me how brilliant they are.
I'm not facing problem over here at all. Actually, I'll give the student over the 80%, I'll give these people 70%. But I'm looking at the standard and how they get my teachings as early and then quick. I'm amazing. In fact, I'm amazing.
What could motivate an elderly person whose children are in school to want to be educated, especially at a time when they are far advanced in age?
I just want to learn that to help them. There is a time I'm not feeling happy in the house. So if I come to the class, I feel happy. And I send I have 2 kids. One is a boy and one is a girl. They are all teachers. So I tell them that I want to happy myself. So, yes.
But earlier you said that you used to attend school, but you stopped at SHS 1. Why did you stop?
Oh, my father was dead. And my father and my mother was dead. So I just stayed with some people.
Okay. But so far, how do you find the lessons here? What are you learning? Are you impressed with what you are learning?
Oh, it's fun for me. That even I tell my son that one of my daughter that I'm come to learn, and he said that you are age that now we are. I say yes. When I sit to look after you, when you grow, finish your school. Now you two, I'm come to collect chop money from you to come to school.
I'm happy because now even I can learn with my children now, so I'm happy for that.
Are you able to assist them with their assignments when they bring them?
Yes, even they help me too. Sometimes I help them.
The first time you told your husband you were coming over for this kind of class, what was his reaction?
Well, she was happy because my husband likes reading books, and even always she fights with me that I don't like reading books. So the moment I told him, he was happy about that because always in the evening, the time he would come from work, we were reading. I was doing my homework, the children too was doing their own, so he was happy about that.
Okay. So I guess you can read a bit of what you have in front of you first.
Okay. So, where is the bag? The bag is on the table. Where is the book? The book is on the bag. I need a pen. The pen is also inside the bag.
Very interesting one there, reading bits and pieces of that passage and questions and answers in the book as well. Like you can guess, you're never too old to study, and these individuals here are taking advantage of the opportunity being offered by Engage Now Africa to receive some education, hopefully to improve upon the understanding of the language. More importantly, not just about reading and writing, but some arithmetic, which is important and an integral aspect of everyday life, for which reason they have decided to take part in this. Reporting for Joy News from the Wager DAJHS, not the regular school, but the adult class. My name is Joseph Akable.
Joseph's story is enough proof that it's never too late to go back to school. Now, the difficulties of being a street mother in this modern day world are countless. Many women are vulnerable to some ruthless men. It becomes even more difficult when they have children to take care of. Not many of them are lucky to get help and get out of the streets. Here's Mapito Subidi's report on how a non-governmental organization, the NUPES Foundation and Family Affairs, is helping street mothers get out of the quagmire.
Women have to work twice as hard as men for success. Unlikely, in that pursuit of success, some women end up in the streets. Some are abandoned by their families and left to fend for themselves and their children. There are only a few who are lucky enough to get help and get out of the streets. I spoke to Asana Fosini and Teresa Etu, two ladies whose circumstances changed with the help of NUPES Foundation and Family Affairs. I am here at Medina with Asana Fosini, a 22-year-old lady who's a beneficiary of the NUPES Foundation and Family Affairs. I'm here to find out about her background and how she got here. Asana, how are you?
I'm fine.
So I just want you to tell me your background and where you come from and how you got here to Accra.
Me go school because me papa name's Kana me go school. Tina me ban crime be swakaya.
When I gave birth, I couldn't go to school because my dad didn't have money to take care of me and my child and to get me to further my education. That is why I came to Accra to do the KIA.
Bacho, yes, I can pray wompa, nti na my sister na baby I crying yet.
KIA is a very difficult job. Getting a place to sleep was very difficult. I had a sister who was helping me in the market.
Until boy pa me na boy no sha kwalano ntina meduna ba krana swaka no that time meduna ba no me sha akwalano.
When I gave birth, the father of the child was not supporting me. That is why I came to Accra with my child. It was very difficult because we didn't have accommodation. So I decided to send my child back to the north to live with my mother.
Ntina me fa akwalana ko north na mapana me mama cho no nse onje akwalano nkenti o me no obisa me say obisa me quenches bebre nti me kai.
After offering her assistance, Sister Amma has been very good to me. She gives me a monthly allowance while I learn my new trade. This is 23-year-old Teresa Etu from the Volta region. She came all the way to Accra with her son in order to find a job and make a success of herself.
One day me trim and I'm a sister Amma.
I was on a job hunt. My child and I were suffering. When I met Auntie Amma, she helped me and my child.
Now the me basu beko to school. So see me must say my life a change pa.
I am enjoying the job. I look forward to opening my own shop one day.
The Dutch in Swan, I'm so minya, madam. Yeah, foot on a middle mama say.
The advice I'm giving them is that they should be humble so they can receive help and have a better future.
Founder and CEO of NUPES Foundation and Family Affairs tells us what inspired her to start her organization.
What we do is that I decided to set up this organization because of the passion I have for mothers and the desire to help people. And I realized that street mothers are people that have been neglected in the society for some time now, but they need help. The truth is they need help because their mothers are virtually the backbone of every family. When you have the mother around and if the mother is self-sufficient, the kids are okay. Even if the dad is not around, the mother will be able to take care of the kids. So I felt that, okay, to be able to end the streetism, we would need to tackle it from making the mothers independent, instead of focusing so much on the kids. Yes, it's good to focus on the kids, but if you focus on the kids too much, the kids would have to grow up before they can help a sibling or even help the mother. But if you're able to establish the mother and the mother is independent, the mother, even if the mother has about 3 or 4 kids, it means you've inevitably helped about 5 people.
As we all know, women are the backbone of every community, and that is why it is our responsibility to enrich the lives of street mothers for all-round excellence. I am Apita Sibidi, reporting for Joy News.
We take a quick breather here on Joy News today. Still to come, we'll be telling you more about fresh allegations by some of the female staff of the PURC that the Executive Secretary, Samuel Sapong, deliberately impeded their promotions, citing maternity leave. Please don't go away. This is Joy News today with me, Bernice Abubedi. Thanks for staying. Staff of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, have returned to work Friday morning with renewed calls for the removal of the Executive Secretary, Samuel Sapong. The workers yesterday stopped a board meeting after locking the main door to the office of the Commission. Joy News' investigations earlier this year uncovered some questionable payment at the utilities regulator. Maxwell Agbagba was on the 2nd floor of the Liberation Tower, where the head office of the PURC is located, and has come through with this report.
Today we are working, when you say a board meeting, we're able to prevent an illegality from taking place. And as the Constitution of Ghana enjoins every citizen to kind of stop any commission of an illegality. We've had patience with the illegal board, and they've been taking decisions to the detriment of staff. And that has continued for long. And yesterday's own, we thought that we have to put a stop to it because it undermines the respect and the due processes that are, governing the PURC. So that was what happened yesterday. And you were here the whole day. We must acknowledge that you did a great job by staying with us because it's a civil right of every individual to at least try to insist that your rights are given to you. So as at now, we are working and we are just using your medium to let the necessary authority know that we still need to have our board immediately. And you can see from the staff that they are ready to work. And as at yesterday, you could see that they were so charged because he has lost grace of the organization. He has lost the control over the staff.
Okay. So now you, what essentially you're calling for now is a new board?
A new board and the executive secretary immediately leaving because he has no moral right to still hold himself as the executive secretary of PURC.
For 6 years, I have 2 children. I quite remember like some 3 years ago, there was promotion and I was told in the face that whole year, what did I do? I got pregnant for 9 months. I went on maternity leave for 3 to 4 months. So virtually, I didn't do anything, so I don't need to be promoted. And it has been happening. I came with 2 gentlemen. One has been promoted like 2 or 3 times, and I am still at the same place. So if a whole chief executive is claiming that women can't be promoted or would have to be delayed in promoting, then what's the essence of us working here?
I was not told that I'm not being promoted because I'm getting pregnant, but I was told that because we are getting free medical care, that is why we are giving birth. I'm giving birth anyhow.
More on this in subsequent bulletins. Senior Minister Yao Safo has disclosed that the plans for the mandatory national towing levy has been scrapped at a meeting with owners of towing companies in Accra on Thursday. The senior minister stressed that owners of broken down vehicles will pay for the cost of towing their vehicles. The decision to meet with these companies comes after a huge public outcry which compelled government to scrap an initial annual mandatory toll levy policy. Passed in 2012, the LI 2180 was given 5 years fallow period, after which it would come into effect in 2017. 2 weeks before its implementation, the general public, incensed by the decision, called on government to scrap the levy.
It's a good idea,
You see, sometimes when you are on your way, you can see some vehicle broken down. Instead of owners towing them to give way for moving vehicle to house access, they leave them there. It end up creating accident, terrible ones. You understand? Even if not accident, but it block road. Movement is restricted. You get my point? So for me, I agree to that extent that they should implement that law. Because Ghana here, because our laws are not working, that's why everything, we are backwards.
I think that with this mandatory toll levy, Ghanaians spoke on too much emotions, and then they gave it little thought. Because I think if you look at the road safety numbers, I mean, cars, broken down vehicles on the road, like, are taking lots of lives. But to scrap it, I think Ghanaians, it's like paying health insurance, right? You pay health insurance, you might not go to the hospital, but someone would go. It's the same as paying for toll levy. For me, I don't think anything should be taken out. I support its totality. If anything is taken out, it will be deficient.
I don't think it's cool for you to include the levy into like someone's amount. Why? I know like insurance companies, we pay insurance because we can't tell something can happen. Yeah. But the towing, maybe someone has, you know, when you go out, people get their friends to help them tow their vehicles at no cost, you know. Because when you tow the vehicle, you have to go and repair the vehicle. What if you don't have money?
Once you bought your car, I know you're paying whatever circumstances before your car will come to road. So if your car gets spoiled somewhere, the only thing you call towing car to come and tow it, then you pay. Period. Not that somebody have a new car. It won't go spoil. It won't get any breakdown. That means those people who have new car will be paying for the old people. This wicked. Maybe even let me. The other time I was thinking about, even in case I short patrol, somewhere, I will intentionally call the tow that maybe I don't have money on me. Call the tow that my car is spoiled, so they should come and tow it. You know. So to me, if your car gets spoiled, just call for tow, then you pay it. Period.
Some questioned why the National Road Safety Commission awarded the contract to the Road Safety Management Services Limited, a subsidiary of the Jospon Group owned by businessman Joseph Siawe Japong. On Thursday, government announced the towing levy will not see the light of day. All towing companies have therefore been advised to register with the Transport Ministry so they can begin work. Senior Minister Yao Safo made the announcement.
We don't have to invent a wheel. Many countries have practiced systems that take care of broken down vehicles. Is it true or false? So why can't Ghana learn from good practices elsewhere? So, Madam, in your consultation, let's learn from good practices elsewhere. The little I know, this is a private sector product all over the world. You don't get the government in Germany anywhere getting involved by law on this. I've never come across any. So let us learn from other people and let us learn from good practices elsewhere. I'm happy about what the police have told us, that they will patrol and they will take the necessary steps. We are talking about interim measures. I think we will ask the police to continue, and if they need additional support in the interim, we are going to put in some support for them to get beefed up in terms of material so that we minimize the carnage arising out of disabled vehicles. We're going to do that as a part of government responsibility. But do a wider consultation and don't invent a wheel.
But some road towing companies are kicking against the idea. Yawa Poku is one of them.
Yes, I do have concerns about it because when you tow somebody's vehicle and at the end of the day you don't get paid, that is work done for not, you don't get paid for the work that you've done, but meanwhile you incur cost running the operation, as in like towing vehicles off the... But I believe that this whole idea is to save lives. is to save the lives of innocent people that run into broken down vehicles or accident vehicles that are left on the roads.
Then why do you appear uncomfortable with it?
Well, it's a capital intensive business. And if you run a business, definitely you need to make profits instead of just saving lives. Imagine I'm moving my vehicle from Techiman to Kintampo to go and take off an accident vehicle. And then after I take off the accident vehicle, the driver or the owner refuses to pay for my services. Now, when it becomes mandatory or it becomes automatic or the law enforces the owner of the vehicle to pay for the services rendered, then I think it is much more appropriate and it will help save more lives.
Yao Poko is an owner of a towing company. Now, Kofi Kapito of the Consumer Protection Agency, however, insists the pay-as-you-tow scheme is the best for the country.
People are doing it and they are getting paid. Even the assemblies are doing it. It's just a matter of, looking at it. How did they do it the last time? Like somebody said, he towed the vehicle, took it to the police station. When he went back, the police has released the vehicle to the owner without any redress to his cost towing the vehicle. We cannot do things like that. Where these things has actually worked well, the moment the vehicle breaks down, you call a police officer, or a police officer will come by if you don't have a tow truck or a number yourself. In other jurisdictions, either you have your own towing company or you belong to a club which you can call and they'll provide you with the towing services. It's all at a cost. There's nothing free. The only challenge for most Ghanaians was the fact that we were going to be paying upfront. I don't think Ghanaians are against towing and also paying for it. If your vehicle is towed, you should pay for it. And that is why Ghanaians are saying that, yes.
The towing companies are not convinced that if we do
you see, if you're doing any business, okay, you should do your feasibility studies. We should see how you are going to recoup your money. Like I'm saying, other people have been in the business for a very long time. 24-hour towing. They've been in the business since the early 2000s. They are still operating. They have managed even to get a contract with Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
That'll be all for Joy News today. Do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. We are also very interactive on social media. On Facebook, our name is Joy News. On TV, it's the same name on Twitter as well. On Facebook, you can find me. My name is Benis Abubedu. And on Twitter, I'm Benis_AB. See you next week. Take care.